Good evening, everyone. This is a recording regarding launching the business and launching a startup business. My name is Albert Russell, and I'm the founder of the Greenly H2 startup. This presentation, we arranged it for 7 to 10 minutes. And we're going to talk about our startup and what the purpose of that startup and what I learned during the course. And first of all, thanks a lot for all professor, all instructor, and all lectures. This great resource. And I know it's short, time is very short period of time. 6 weeks is very, very short, but that's great. A lot of material, and we can use this material as a reference. Let's go talk about the presentation. I created that presentation based off the education I learned each subject or each module, these 6 weeks or 6 modules. And that helped me a lot to learn about the startup, about the business, because I have a great experience in the technical side and I work with some startup, but that is show me other side of the startup and how we should be running the startup. That'd be great. Thanks a lot. Our major startup here is we do the service, consulting, engineering, and we provide engineering service to other startups and also OEM. But majority, we're going to go to a startup. And during this presentation, we're going to talk about details, what exactly our plan. Then we choose a Greenly H2 startup because most likely these days, a lot of company do investment in the green technology, renewable energy, hydrogen, solar, and then we do same. We do a lot of consulting with this kind of the company and help them with their process. For that reason, we choose the name of the Greenly H2. And also we choose engineering excellence for the better future, not only for us, but also for our client, and specific the client that is going to invest a lot of time and money for their idea, we're going to help them. First, let's go introduce myself. I have over 20 years experience in consultant and in be engineer, lead engineer over 10 years for a few startup and some OEM. Also, I have some invention with myself that patented by company now in the market. I do have a professional engineering license since 2014 in Canada, and also on the process finish my PE in USA. To be engineer here, get a license as a PE or professional engineering, that's great milestone for each engineer. Also, I'm certified the UL 508 for electrical and controls panel design and building. And also finished my education in University of Washington to be certified in software management. I have a bachelor degree as engineering and master degree and my doctorate degree in the leadership and management and business. We're going to first talk about our customer. Who is the customer? Most of our customer is going to be a startup founder or leadership because they have a bunch of idea what they want to do and they launch their own business, but they have a shortage of the resource, talent, and also financially. It's so hard for them to hire directly people because it's so expensive for them. We're going to help them with our engineering service and then with a very low rate. And also they don't have to pay all the time to us. As needed, they can use our service. And that is going to create revenue for us, also reduce their cost. There is a majority of our business is going to be a startup. Also, the OEM owner and manager. The OEM, most likely we have about 35,000 OEM in California. and they need a lot of engineering service as they need it. And then most of these company, they not hire any electrical engineer or controls engineering because it's very expensive for them and they don't have any full-time job for them. Then we can help, we be our client. They can be our client and we're going to help them. Why they are very important for us? First of all, they are customer, also they are end user. They're going to pay for us, also they're going to use our service. That is very critical. The other hand here, they are a specific founder of the startup. They are very familiar with the problems they have or the needs they have. They need it very badly, but the other side, they don't have any financial money or financial support to hire directly. That isn't that very important for us. Also, they are decision maker. And if, example, talk to them, they can right away make a decision. Okay, we want to work with us or no. That they are the top leader in the startup. Also, an influencer. That is means they actually, if we start working with them, they can bring more customers to us as well because a lot of other investor or other startup work with them, and then we can continue service to other clients as well. And the major important, they are money management. They are going to be cut the check. And that is very important for us to make sure they are happy with our service. Why do they need us? First of all, that kind of a startup that they want to take their product, most likely, or service, most likely will be product, in the market very soon, before their competitor. And they are very critical time frame for them. Also, they want looking for expert to help them to reduce the redoing, building the design, the prototype, and then to prove the concept. To prove the concept for them is very critical because then they can attract more investors, and we can help them as well. And already is in the redoing because a lot of the startup lack of technical support. They do something and not working and then redoing again. But if you have some technical support with them, they can reuse that redoing and that save a lot of time and money. Also, we can help them to increase ability to their product. Example, when designing something for them, we can bring more idea what their product can do for their customer. And sometimes this kind of their product must be get a license or a standard. And also we can, as a consulting engineer, help them to get a license faster or get a standard faster. Their population is honestly keep growing. But in just 2023, around 47,000 startup built up in California. Our major customer is going to be a startup in the first 3 years because we assume that a startup after 3 years has enough money and is strong enough to hire directly people. Although some startup after 5-6 years still they don't have enough money to hire directly, we can help them. But our majority of the business, we focus in the startup in the first 3 years. And on the other hand, in the OEM, just the California alone, there's a center of OEM in USA with the 35,000 companies in California. And our plan here, focusing on our customer in California for now. The relationship that we have with them is very strong relationship. First of all, we have a lot of experience and then tracking successful project. Also, last 10 years, I'm working for a few startups. And then I did a lot of project with them as well. And I know what the issue I have with the startup. For that reason, we have very good relationship. And then I have so many idea for them and they use the idea and they believe me and we have a great trust. Also, we can meet them in different meetup to get a more relationship with this kind of the startup. Let's go talk to value proposition. We have a two decided here. Our special consulting response offer is engineering, production, technology support. These three major the service we do. Although it says engineering, but most likely we focus electrical and controls engineering. And the reason here, mechanical engineering as the base of the most of the fundamental of the each startup. And most likely they hire directly or the co-founder or funder, they are mechanical engineer, and they use it as a full-time employee all the time because they need it all the time. But for electrical and controls engineering that we focus, they don't have any job as a full-time to hire someone, then we can help them. And for production as well, based on my knowledge, my experience I had before, we can help them to documenting and then also transferring from the prototyping to production sooner. Also, based off the experience, we can help them for technology support. That is all this support. We give them very low cost because we have flat rate and they don't have to pay extra money at all. And also, of course, quick response. That our client most likely is a startup and OEM manager that they are struggle with the lack of talent, technology, and financial resource. And the financial resource actually detected for them, then they cannot hire more people, or unfortunately, sometimes let it go to people because the financial, they need them, but during the financial crisis, they have to let it go. But our service, we just use it as needed, and they can call us and then pay as the hour they use the service. Unlike the costly and time-managed process to hiring for different departments, such as engineering, testing, or so on, for the short period of time they needed, because that they need some electrical or controls engineer example. But if you want to go to process to interview and then do HR and they do a lot of paperwork, just short period of time, then but they have to pay, keep continuing to stay there or get around. With our service, no, they just use it as needed. A few weeks, a few months, most likely, and as need as they have a project, or sometimes they have a lot of project, they want to someone to help them, we can just get in and help them. And their our process hassle free and no extra charge, just flat fee. The prototype, most likely, because we don't have any product, we have a service, or prototype would be website, and the website bring most likely some kind of the question their mind in the startup OEM why they should be work with us. And this example, what can we do for them? Why use a consulting engineer outsource versus the hire people? And also what the benefit to have us in there beside them, a specific the expert. We have a different expert, different knowledge, different experience, and then we can help them. Then they don't have to hire multiple people for just one project. Also, we can analyze the cost and time. If they're not hire us, for example, wants to just keep going, how long it takes time or time they invest to finish their project, instead of hire someone, help them to get the project done sooner, make a prototype sooner, and then, of course, they can go to the next phase of the project. Also, we talk about that. Time is gold for a startup. Of course, time is gold for everyone, especially a startup, because other competitor coming very soon. And we're going to help them. And maybe we need it more clear here. Any client we have an NDA, non-disclosure agreement. We do not share any of their idea, their product, their design with any other client. The go-to-market strategy we have is going to be, our product is going to be engineering consulting. We do just engineering consulting and help them. Engineering means in production as well, testing as well, but we focus as a name of engineering consulting. And most of our client would be a startup that register for the first 3 years, maybe 85% of the startup, and maybe 15% the startup has a more age, depend of their startup. Also OEM. The OEM most likely is not a startup, they are established company, they make money every year. They are a very established company. And that customer can bring more money for us because they have income a lot. And that help us to stay established and then make sure we have money enough to order startup, and then we can help other startup. And although is our platform not just charging hourly with the startup, maybe we can have a share some idea with them, and then we get some investor with them. It means if some startup says, okay, we do not have any money for your engineering service, but we need that, let's go 1,000 hours your time, we can deal on it. Instead of pay money, we can say, okay, we are okay to invest your company. There is a different strategy, and we have that strategy based off the startup that we go later. The target of the, or population of the target of the, or startup, about 45,000 startup in California, 35,000 OEM in California. And this is a major of the business. Their competitor, of course, is direct hire because they can hire directly person, and then that is our competitor. But the other side depend on our customer. Establish, need a full-time employee, pay a lot of money, and then have an employee around, or just hire a contractor to help them and go. Also, other consulting firm. Of course, there's other consulting firm, established company in the market, but most of these consulting firm, they try to help the established company to make sure they get their money back. The profit model or product price, let's go figure out how much cost would be for each employer or employer when they hire one person or one employee. Let's go assume the one engineering, that's average salary 150K for 5 years experience. That's very normal, very, very normal. And then they have to pay vacation 10 days. That's everything is minimum. I'm not going to hire, I just go everything minimum. Holiday 10 days, 3 days, sick day is everything based off the minimum wage in California. Also medical benefit as well. That when they go calculated, we want to see how many hours reality one employee working for that company. Exactly how many hours. When you go to calculate it based off the vacation they have, they get a holiday, and also 3 days sick day they have, and times by 7, because 8 hours work day, 1 hour's lunch is a total reality 1,659 hours. I know so many accounting, they just go straight 2,000 hours per year, but reality is not. When I go to real calculation for the company, how much they actually pay it and how much they get a productive, is that one. We have to deduct holiday, you have to deduct a sick day, also vacation, and that is go 1,659 hours per year. Then the employee cost per hour, employer cost for each employee, if you calculate it based off the 150K salary, that's really average, plus 12 months of the medical, is altogether reality that employee costs $99.09 per hour. Assume all 7 hours per day that person works. But reality, the company pay $99.09 just for one person every hour. There is no any office cost. There is no, we assume everything that normal. Reality, of course, each person has a more cost for the company, and we not try to calculate that one. Otherwise, the price go over $100. We not cost the overhead for the company. We just cost the regular that one every paycheck. The employer has to pay for one person, regardless the overhead or office costs or other costs that we can reduce it. Now is $99.09. Each employer pay $99.09 just for one person per hour. Our engineering consulting rate is going to be $105 to $115 per hour. It's a flat fee. There is no any extra cost. Also, they don't have to pay 40 hours per week whole year. They pay it as needed. Minimum 4 hours, of course, per day. But yes, just that they pay as needed. The huge difference between these two. Also, because they pay hourly, they can choose what exactly discipline they want, what kind of the expert they're looking for. Not just pay, hire a bunch of the people around that for needed for a few months. The flat rate means that rate is not change if that person has to work 50 hours per week, 60 hours per week, because some startup you have to working 60 hours per week or maybe more just to finish the project or deliver the project or designing the project. For that reason, they don't have to pay double time money. We are as a contractor and we just charging flat rate. Customer value, the CAC. Because we are a startup, we didn't advertise anything. That is hard to calculate it. We just search in the internet and get some idea. Based off their final research back to 2023, there is a cost, the customer acquisition cost calculated with one of the company that involved for search engine and advertisement. And they combined the average cost $512. The cost of the acquisition for the engineering firm to fund the customer for $512 compared with the money that we make for each customer, that's go over $15,000, 15K per month, is actually over 30%. Because there is a calculation how much money we make for one person as a contractor working 40 hours per week in the 1 month. The difference would be over 15K, $1,000. And the customer acquisition also very, very low for that kind of the project. The majority of the customer acquisition cost is low because we have a specific client, a specific customer or end user, a startup. Funding a startup, you don't have to advertise Facebook or other social. The only thing we can, just LinkedIn, example, also direct email to them based off the list there in the website, and also send a letter to them. It's the minimum cost for us. The total addressable market, or TAM, we calculated 48,000 startup in the first year. We assume we just get 10% of this one. And then $15,600, that is income one customer per month. The TAM for us over $74 million. This is just we calculated based off the 1 month service, 1 month calculated, and then 10% of the startup that we can support. The LVT or lifetime value of the customer, we assume the first 3 years of the startup or OEM is our client. After that, they are established, they can have enough money to hire someone, and or they move to production, they don't need a lot of engineer around anymore. Then we calculated in the first 3 years. Based off that one, we calculated based off every month and 12 months. Also, the second year, we've figured out maybe 80% of the customer back to us, plus 5% discount to them. And the third year, 50%, 50. The second year, 80%, the third year, 50%, 50, joined back to us with the 5% discount. The total is for each customer, $397,051, almost $400,000. That's very normal for one company to hire us in the 3 years platform, because approximately $130,000 per year, that's very, very normal. Thanks a lot. Thank you for your time. And please let me know your feedback. I love to hear that. And I love to update that feedback to that presentation, also to other documents that we're going to create it. And thanks a lot for all professor again, and I'll lecture everything. Thank you.